already added it. Okay, so what was I gonna say? I hope y'all can hear me, and I hope this comes out, or at least what I intend to come out comes out, because the Holy Spirit, I'm trying to see if I can get the ice off. The water. Oh, it's working. Wait, is somebody's car? That's why I need to wait for this ice to melt, because I can't see nothing. Okay, so this isn't gonna work. I'm gonna have to put y'all over here. Sorry. This morning I wrote down in my notes. I knew something was off because I was writing. I try not to move these seats, but sorry, husband. Today I'm moving them. I was writing, and it wasn't. Normally when I write, even if I'm writing something that the Holy Spirit is delivering to me as I write, it makes sense. And I was writing this morning, and it didn't make sense, but I just felt led to keep writing. And I wrote with a topic in mind, like titled the page with the topic name, which I never do. I just be writing. And the topic was, which is actually a topic that I will talk about, but the topic was knowing when things are not for you. And I intended to talk about, the importance of knowing when things are not for you. We always talk about knowing what's for you and knowing your purpose and why you're here and all that good stuff, but we never talk about the fact that it's also, or equally important, to know when something is not for you. So that's what I intended to talk about, but I started my writing discussing, I can't see from the back, y'all, so I'm just relying on my mirrors. I started talking about like lessons learned and how I've learned so many lessons, and I feel like in this season the lessons that I'm learning, they're hitting a little different, right? And I expect that comes, sorry, this is why I had the shades on. I wasn't trying to be, the sun is sunning, y'all. So I wasn't trying to be cute, was the statement that I didn't just finish. Where am I going? Nothing opens over here. I'm gonna go to Produce Junction first. Where is Produce Junction? Why am I going this way when I feel like I should be going that way? Okay. I'm gonna go to Food Lion, and then I'm gonna do everything else. Yeah, we're gonna do it that way. Okay, sorry, got it. All right, so I started talking about lessons, and I was like, how lessons are just hitting different now. And I expected that comes with maturing, but I really hope this works out. Y'all might just be listening to this one. But now when I get I'm sorry, I'm reiterating to y'all all of the, I don't want to say nonsense, because I know we'll come together when I get this together. That's another thing. Before I used to just be able to go, and now I guess with this deeper understanding, or with me knowing that I now have like an official intention to share things, I'll be trying to make sure I get it right, which requires me practicing or I guess working on it. Anyway, sorry, I'm saying a lot of things and I'm not saying the thing I want to say, which is, I've spent all this time writing this morning. I was talking about, learning lessons, and the fact that now when I learn a lesson, it hits a little bit differently. One, I'm more expectant. I'm more like, not that I wasn't expecting before. Expecting isn't the word, but I'm more willing to accept the lesson, and I feel it differently. And I was comparing it to like having empathy. My understanding of empathy is you can't have empathy, or the way that you have empathy is, by having gone through something, or like, it's more than understanding somebody's, where they're coming from, right? It's kind of like a more ingrained, like deeper knowledge. And I was trying to make the case of like, maybe this is what happens when you go from just understanding or just gaining knowledge or reading something and knowing it, versus reading something, knowing it, and then finally understanding it. The lessons that I've been receiving lately have just been like, oh, like they're definitely new, and they're definitely, still things that I hadn't thought about before. But it's almost like my spirit already knew, or my spirit was just waiting, or like I'm like finally accepting it. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I was writing about, and I'm sure I will have to come back to that, because that was just like kind of stream of consciousness. And I'm writing and I'm just like, hey, I haven't gotten to the point of what I'm writing about. And as I'm writing, I start trying to like pivot over to talking about knowing what's not for you. And then I start talking about how, we can't wait. We can't wait when God has assigned us something to do. We can't wait. Same thing I've been always saying. And then I was like asking myself why I'm waiting. And then I ended up writing something that just like I can't even tell you what it made me feel. But what I ended up writing was, I let the fear in. What did I write exactly? Because I've changed it since writing it, and I probably will change it again. But I said something like, I let the fear in, pretending it was waiting. And it needs help. Those words are in it. Like, this sentence is supposed to hit you. It's supposed to hit you. So let me tell you what I meant. I said that I was, and I probably have said this before, but for some reason it's hitting me differently right now, where it's just kind of like, I have let fear, right, dictate what I will and won't do in a particular season. And I think the thing is, I didn't see it as fear. I didn't go, oh yeah, this is me being scared, right? I didn't say that in my mind. In my mind, I was like, oh no, I'm waiting for God. I'm waiting for God to move. I'm waiting for God to move. And I, even before I wrote that, I started asking these series of questions, and I was talking to God, which was just like, a lot of my work, a lot of my assignments, they involve other people. They involve moving pieces, right? And the part that I was saying about knowing what's for you is, I'm realizing that just because my assignment or my end goal requires other things doesn't mean I'm the one who have to do those other things. And so I'm in a place now where I'm seeing parts of my work, and I'm seeing parts of my work that rely on the work of other people, and instead of me tagging them in, right, I've been waiting for God. I'm waiting for God to do something to make them, do what they're supposed to do for me. And I hear God saying, no, sis. Like, Jesus, whatever he told Jesus, we don't know all that he told Jesus, but whatever he revealed to Jesus, Jesus knew he had to go get those disciples, right? And the way that he got those disciples was he offered them food, right? They, at the end of the day, had to choose to eat or not eat, but he did offer them the food. And so the question I got was, sis, have you been offering food? Well, you've been sitting here waiting for God to hand out the food. Like, what you been doing? Like, you have this work that needs to be done, and you need these people to do it, and they need to eat to do it, and you ain't offer them nothing. So, of course, I've arrived at my location, and I have to go, but I'll be back with more. All right, y'all, I'm back. Oh my goodness, I bought like 2 things and it was $50. Supermarket. I don't know how we are expected to survive. All right, y'all. So I was saying, I think about my morning this morning with God, and I was questioning him because I'm not quite sure how to react or respond to some of what I have been given, I think is what it comes down to. And I didn't realize I had these questions until this morning, honestly, which is, like I was saying, as I was thinking about what's for me and what's not for me, I tend to think, oh, I got the first part, which is, God's gonna assign you tasks. He ain't gonna tell you every single thing, but he's gonna be there with you, encouraging you. He's gonna be there, sharing more when it's time to share more. Like, you gotta start, and then it will come. I got that part. And I fully understand, accepting assignments and things of that nature. And now I've finally gotten some understanding around, just because it's assigned to you, don't mean you got to do all of the work, right? And part of me being a good leader is being able to identify those who, are meant to do, certain things, and not necessarily be able to build them up or bring them up, but, identifying those people and helping them to realize what it is that they're supposed to do. I'm sorry, not necessarily helping them to realize what it is supposed to do, what it is they're supposed to do, but helping them realize what they're doing, if that makes sense, right? Like the Holy Spirit is there to prompt and, give and share and inform and all that stuff. That's not necessarily my job, right? But as people come to the realization of who they are, what they're meant to do, I'm there to kind of continue to encourage them, pat them on the back, help, basically. And so with that being said, I got that part. And as part of that, I'm also realizing that what that means for me is that, there are parts of my work that do rely on or require other people. And I have been taking the stance of, okay, when God is ready to activate them, he will activate them. When they are ready to accept, the activation, then they will commit to him, and then they'll be ready for whatever it is that I'm thinking. So let me go ahead and prepare all the things that I'm thinking about so that when that time comes, I'll be ready, they'll be ready, we can move. That has been my strategy. And this morning's questions prompted me to think about that, right? Because again, yesterday I was studying about Jesus and Jesus and the times that he prayed. And as I was studying that, I just kept hearing or reading more about like his work with the disciples, right? The disciples, it just kept coming up, like Jesus being able to find them, Jesus being able to, equip them and protect them and all of that. Like, we don't know the ins and outs of every single prayer that Jesus had. We don't know the ins and outs of his conversation with God. But I can imagine that those conversations were kind of similar to mine. Well, they were not. I'm not trying to say that, but they were similar in terms of God providing the end goal, Jesus coming up with the strategy, and them two working together to figure out what makes the most sense. And I imagine he probably said, hey, you need to go get this group, because when you leave here, you're going to need a bunch of people that are going to continue on to deliver the message, to continue on so that people know about who we are, right? And so, but I don't know that God said, here's how you do it, right? Maybe he gave him some guidance. Maybe Jesus had a couple questions, hey, where these people at? I don't know. But my point in saying all that is that I believe that Jesus had to work with God to figure out exactly what strategies he was going to use to be able to do the things that he needed to do. And as part of that, he had to go find the disciples, right? God did not just say, okay, Jesus, I don't know. I don't believe that God said, all right, Jesus, the disciples gonna be named this, and this. Go there, say exactly these things, and it's gonna prompt them. No, Jesus still had to go out and find the people, right? And back to the study that I did before, he had to offer them food. It was up to them to take the food. It was up to them to eat, right? But he had to go offer it. He had to go tell them that there was an opportunity for the things that they had. And I don't do that. I'm not. The question was, am I offering food? And as I'm talking, I'm realizing that I'm not. I'm saying, I'm looking at someone, and I guess you could say I'm making a judgment call by saying, they're not ready yet. Let me not bring that to them. That's not something that they can handle at the moment. And not to say that those things can't be true. However, if you don't give them a chance to see, it's kind of like, you have a big dream, or you have a skill, right? And you do this skill really well. This goes back to the conversation I was having with my sis. You do this thing really well, or you have the potential to do this thing really well. You're interested in doing this thing really well. Whatever it is you're feeling called to or led to experience or do this thing that you think that you can do really well. Hold on, I'm gonna figure out where I'm going. I guess I'll just keep going. But you don't have the opportunity, or you don't see the opportunity to actually do the thing, right? You're not seeing opportunities to go out and do the thing. For example, let's just say that you're really good at making sneakers. For some reason, you've just gotten into making sneakers, and you realize, wow, I'm really good at making sneakers. Or let's just say shoelaces. Forget the sneakers. You're really good at making shoelaces. I really like making shoelaces. I got some good ideas about how to make shoelaces. I don't really have a lot of money to invest in figuring out the best way to make shoelaces, but using what I got, I'm pretty excited by that. I wish I could make shoelaces, right? You may never tell anybody about that dream. You may never fully explore that dream, because in addition to you making shoelaces, which is what you do on your regular regular. You have a whole life, right? You have a job that's providing income, you've got family, you've got responsibilities, you got all these other things that happen in your life. Shoelaces is just what you do for fun. You may never even share that you make shoelaces. If nobody ever comes to you and say, hey, I got a sneaker, and if only I had shoelaces, like, this sneaker would like pop off. If nobody ever gives you that opportunity, you may never, sorry, I know this is like a very convoluted example, but it's the truth, right? Like if you never get the chance to use that talent or skill that you think is so far from what you're supposed to be working on, then it dies. And so if I have an opportunity, or I have something that requires a skill that I see someone in my life has, but I don't say anything about it, what if that was the prodding that God wanted them to have to get their stuff together? What if the person who made the shoelaces for my sneakers, like, they just all over the place. The workshop is a mess. They're not really learning the things they need to learn. They don't deliver things on time. Like, what if once I told them, hey, I'm about to build this shoe and it's gonna be amazing, and if you just get your shoelaces right, we gonna be amazing together. And what if that's the prodding that they needed to get their stuff together? But because I'm waiting for them to come to me perfect, right? And God even tells us, don't come perfect. I'm waiting for them to come to me perfect, so I'm not sharing what I know, because I have judged them and deemed that they are not ready for something that God put them in my life to do. I'm probably talking all over the place, and it's probably not making sense to y'all, but when I tell y'all this is hitting me right now, right? I just read that. We just talked about that with communion, right? People thinking like, oh, I got to be perfect before I come to God. I'm my God. God don't even want us to be perfect. God don't want us to be perfect. I'm nowhere near God, but I'm expecting people to come to me perfect. They're not perfect. Let me give myself a little bit of grace. I'm not saying that you got to come to me perfect. Sam's Club, why are you opening at 10 o'clock? I don't understand. 10 o'clock? It's crazy. Anyway, I don't expect people to come to me in their perfect state. But I mean, I want something, God. Like, you got to be able to do something. I can't be babysitting you. And I have a trust issue, which is what actually prods all of these issues that I'm discussing right now. And I God is coming for me. He's embarrassing me right now. God, I'm talking to the people, and I cannot see y'all, and I'm trying to figure out where I need to turn. Oh, it's coming up. It's like, when you invite your friends over after school, and then your mom want to come in and start yelling about how you ain't clean your room. Like, Mom, Dad, you're embarrassing me in front of the people. I have trust issues, y'all, and those trust issues show up in so many different ways. And one way in which they are clearly showing up right now is my ability to let go and let the people do the work that they need to get done. And I hate to do this. I promise you I do. But I am here at my next location, and I'm going to go, and I will be back. Oh my gosh, this boy. Let me get home so he can just have this birthday and be done with me. Lord have mercy. Alright, it's 9 o'clock. Got one more stop to make. Everyone knows I'm in. Oh. The song playing in the store. I don't know if y'all know this song. I think it's Fall Out Boy. I don't know the name of the song, but they say everyone knows I'm in over my head. Look at the enemy just trying to come for me. I'm not in over my head. Thank you. Y'all, Party City is going out of business, and I'm gonna have to go make a stop over there. How is Party City going on? Of course, I've been talking and not recording, but I'm back. I'm done. 9:36. I think I left my house a little bit after 8. And it's 9:36, and I have completed most of my mission. I will either come back out or get it tomorrow. Maybe my husband will go. Okay, so the boy is texting me. He has let me know that he will be texting me every hour if he can come downstairs. I did go upstairs and bring him a little snack and something to drink this morning, but of course he's just excited and it's his day, and I understand that. So let me get home and get everybody else woken up so we can celebrate his birthday. His birthday. I wonder if I'll bring you guys. I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure there'll be some content that I'll be able to share. But I don't remember all that I was saying. I just know that I was getting myself, not in trouble, but getting myself in trouble. Or getting myself out of trouble, I should say, right? But yeah, I have to observe this trust thing. And also the fear. I think that the biggest part of the first revelation this morning was about fear. And not making an excuse, not letting fear in. And fear in disguised as, for me, it's disguised as waiting. Oh, I'm just waiting. Oh, God's gonna do it. God's the one who knows everything, and he's gonna be the one who tells this person this and this person that. When God already told me to go offer food, not feed, but offer food to the people. It's one thing to say, I offer food to the people, they didn't take the food, God, and you still want me to talk to the people. What am I supposed to do? Again, parent scenario. When my kids come and tell me, Mom, I can't find this. Mom, where's this? Did you look for it? Did you try to find it, or are you just coming to me immediately? Like, did you try to do it on your own and then come ask me for help? Or when they come with their homework, Mom, I need help. What you need help with? I don't understand. What don't you understand? We got to break it. You got to come be specific. I got things to do. Can't just be sitting here babying you up. I need you to identify the problem so that I can help you figure out the solution. You can't just bring me the whole problem. Lord, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Lord. But thank you for correction. Thank you. Y'all got a lot to work on. I'm glad I recorded this. I don't know if y'all will ever see it, or see it in its full entirety. Only because, oh, look, it's ice. There's like a little lake over here, and it's all ice. Wow. Look at that. Like, I've seen it start to ice, but it's literally all ice. Quite beautiful. I don't know what accent that was. So nice, y'all. Oh, if the light didn't change, I would show y'all, but another time. Oh my gosh, this man has something in the back, in the trunk, and it's just hitting and running all around back there. So yeah, I've got a lot to work on. I've got a lot to think about. I got a lot to process. Trust, fear, all the things. That fear, though, it just be sneaking up. And it's one thing when it sneak up, but it's another thing when we let it in. And we can't be letting fear in disguised as anything. I think that's my question. Hey, church. I think that's my question, y'all. That's my question for all of us. What is your fear disguised as? And are you letting it in? Alrighty, well, I'm about to turn into my little complex. So this is the end of our time together right now. Hopefully I can come back. I didn't even talk to y'all about my day and my goals. So remember, today's my son's birthday. Remember yesterday I was like, God, please just let me have a free day. Of course I don't. I have goals. He was understanding. So we're gonna go start this day off. We're gonna celebrate. We're gonna let him open his things. We'll let him see his things because I didn't wrap anything. We just have it kind of set up. Let him get started with that, and then we'll make breakfast, prep lunch, and then I should be able to get some work done. Why there's still ice all over the floor, ground. All right, peeps. I will talk to you. I'll see you later. Now, who's gonna help me carry all these bags in the house?
What? I knew it! Flip the chair, Jenny.
Not the dance.
Okay, I don't saw some champion.